and angel fly within my life, beside me in all I do. Hi beautiful people, and welcome to your weekly angel reading for June 20th through to the 26th. I'm going to be using the fairy tarot cards this week. It's the solstice today and a very powerful time. So I thought the fairies would be a beautiful group of beings to connect with at this height of summer or height of winter, wherever you are in the world. So let's see what they have to say for us, first of all, for Monday and Tuesday. All right, beautiful. Okay, this card is an interesting one for the beginning of the week. It says Ace of Winter. Don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately, and amazing new ideas should be implemented. Ooh, interesting. So this card has a couple of different meanings here. So first of all, I remember we spoke last week about trusting and really knowing that we are supported with what we want to do. And so this card really goes along with that. And just remembering that even if there are bumps along the way, that sometimes I believe that is the universe's way, the fairies' way, the angels' way of saying, hey, how much do you want this? Keep going, keep going. Now, we don't want to get into like, oh, we have to suffer for growth, or life is a struggle, but life does have its challenges, and sometimes there are major blessings in disguise in those. So make sure that you keep going with what you're doing. Don't give up at the beginning of the week if you're feeling a little wobbly. It is a full moon. We just had it last night. And so for the next couple of days, we're going to be feeling that sort of intense emotional energy. So don't allow your emotions to have you throw a tantrum or give up on what you're doing. Just breathe and allow yourself to refocus on what inspiration am I being given now? What is my idea, and how can I move forward with that rather than being stuck in any blips. Remembering sometimes that if there are changes that occur, it could be even better. And I always remember when we pray, we say this or something better. And so we always want to remember that if something isn't working out, there is most likely an even better option that we haven't thought of yet. So, coming into the middle of the week, oh, it's interesting. This is another air card, or winter. I say air because on the angel tarot it's air, but in the fairy tarot this is winter, and this in the traditional tarot is represented by the suit of swords, which can be more like the challenging suit. It says information that can help you, which may also be difficult to hear. Speaking the truth with kindness, an indigo child or adult. So again, a little challenging, but remembering that sometimes truth can be challenging, but also helpful in the end. And if we are the person delivering that message, that we can still do it with love and kindness. So remember, sometimes people will say things with your best interests at heart, and it's important to really be objective about that. Sometimes it might be professional advice from somebody that really does know what they're talking about. Sometimes it's someone who's well-meaning, that is wanting to support you. But ultimately, remember that you have a choice with what you do with that information. But this is just reminding you that even if it might be slightly challenging, ultimately it can be helpful, even if just to give you a different perspective or to make you even more determined to follow your own heart. This card, as it says, can also be directing or talking to those of us who are indigo children or adults. Those are usually the very sensitive young adults right now, they're still being born. Also, that they have that warrior, very sensitive energy about them, inner lie detector. You know, they're the people that are really kind of passionate and sometimes angry about the state of the world right now, and often the ones that are, you know, being told that they have ADHD and, you know, goodness knows how many labels. But actually, if we allow them or us, depending on whether, you know, whether you're talking to you, to actually channel that passion and that fiery energy into something really positive to make changes in the world, that's beautiful. The middle of the week this week, we have the decision here in England whether to stay a part of the EU, and there are going to be obviously people that disagree either way. But if you are somebody who is listening to this, who has a very strong opinion about that and who wants to make a difference in the world, please know that your vote counts. Please know that what you are wanting to see changed in the world, that you often have that role. So if you feel like, oh, I wish somebody was doing this, or I wish this was a part of the system, or I wish somebody could do something about this cause, then it may be that you are the person to do that. So don't underestimate yourself. Know that sometimes the things that are challenging us are the things that actually shake us up and wake us up to do something about them. All right, so this is an interesting card again. It feels like it's going to be an intense week, people. But this is another cat card, and it's kind of interesting. There's all three cards have a cat feline reference to them. First one, we had that beautiful snow tiger. Then we had the snow leopard. And now we have a lion with the lamb. So remembering grace and ease at the weekend. This card means strength. So I always think of that as just remembering that you can be strong and gentle at the same time. You can be courageous and gentle. And so embracing all parts of yourself. The card actually says the grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges. So again, remembering, even if you're challenged this week, that you are supported, that if you do come up against something, remembering that we are often given these challenges to learn and grow. We're not given them as punishment. We are given them to perhaps change our perspective, to help us to learn more about ourselves and others. And if we can bear that in mind this week, we will have a lot easier week. It says the power of kindness and forgiveness. So again, being kind to yourself and others. And time to embrace how wonderful you are. Yes, yes, yes. I love this message more than anything because it's important sometimes to acknowledge that we are doing really amazingly well, and life can be mysterious and sometimes painful and sometimes unexpected, but we are incredible. The way that we deal with things, the resilience, the strength, the power, which is love, remembering that our power is love. And so if we want to make changes in our lives, if we want to make changes in the world, we have to remember that our power comes from that strong, unwavering love. Remembering that if we can be kind and loving to ourselves, then that love ripples out into the world. So, ultimately, as always, we come back to love. We come back to how important it is to love ourselves and each other through challenges. To remember that if there are bumps in the road, that we are still being supported, we haven't been abandoned, that these are often redirecting us to a different focus or perhaps a different opportunity, and that God, the angels, and the fairies are with us throughout it all, remembering that they want the best for us. And sometimes in our effort to control things, we think that that looks a certain way, when in fact there is a new way. There is a new way of being. So breathe through any emotion that you have in the coming days. Let yourself take it easy if you're experiencing challenges, but also ask yourself, what am I learning through this? What is this showing me? Listen to your gut, listen to your heart, because they don't lie. And sometimes it's these moments, these solstice moments of the year that really wake us up. We are at a powerful, powerful point in the year where energy is very intense, but it's intense for a reason. In the summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere, it's the longest day, and so we have all of this light flooded in, and yet it's also starting from this point forward to get less light, and so we're being drawn inwards. And then for those in the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. So use this high point of light or this low point of light if you're in the southern hemisphere to go within, to really connect with, what do I want for the second half of the year? How can I get even clearer about that? And what direction am I being moved into now? Sending you much love, everyone, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye bye for now.